I'm a wee bit late to the party here. This has been out for, I don't know, at least a year. Probably more than that, has it? Let me just check. What is this? Let's have we go with this. Very interesting. Okay, that has some potential. Let's get the modulation happening. Bonkers. I absolutely love that. That is so nuts. Does some very lovely things. Good drive. Oh, that's nice. That transient thing's nice. Hold on. What did that sound like before? Listen to that crappy wee drum loop. And listen to it now with this fucking thing. Oh! Is that transient thing there? It's that bad boy? That's just turning it into this monster. Yeah. Oh, and you can add some sub in. Like you've got a whole sub channel on this flipping thing. I can't believe how much that's changed the quality of that though. Like listen to the listen to how feeble that sounds. It's just like and then listen well, I'm clearly going to be using this on every single one of my drum tracks from now on then. Well, that's bloody good. Cool. Pedal is just, I guess, like a distortion pedal you can use on guitars and stuff, but I'm sure it's probably good for drums too. Ooh, crunchy. Oh, they've got sub in it as well. I noticed like they didn't really have anything to compete with Reason's Scream box. Like in Reason they have this lovely Scream effect. It's just like loads of different types of distortion. And now that they've got pedal, it's giving you a few more options there in terms of like types of fuzz. That's great. Yeah, you've got a bit more control over panning. You've got you can phase invert individual. Yeah, it phases. It says it phases the input rather than the output, so that's useful for things like, you know, channel cancellation and stuff. Still does all the stuff it used to do. Oh, hold on. So you can make it mono just for the push of a button rather than using the width. Okay. So it's still got the width. It goes to 400 now. What? Hold on. I'll have to try it another time. But yeah, bass mono lets you choose what frequencies it makes mono. EQ8 now can boost or cut frequencies below 10 Hz. It's just a wee bit more refinement, I guess. Grand. So Capture MIDI is this new feature that the Ableton people are very proud of, I believe. So basically, if you're just noodling about, just hitting a few notes as you're going along, and then you think to yourself, oh wait, what was that thing I just did there? That was really great. You can press Capture MIDI and it'll show you the notes. So basically Ableton's always kind of recording in the background, and at any point if you hit some notes you can recall the last sort of bit of noodling that you did. Multi-clip editing. I'll make them different colors so I can see what's going on. So So let's just draw some notes in here. So if I'm trying to edit multiple ones at the same time, how does that work? Oh, you can flick between them here? Is that the way it works? Yeah, it shows you the other clips in the background. Haha! That's really awesome, because that means like lining things up is going to be so much easier. Like if you've got multiple tracks and you want to line bits up, just go like that, and you can see the other ones in the background. Oh, that's so nice. That is so flippin' nice. So usually you get like, there we go. You've got reverse buttons and stuff, but you don't have these reverse controls or legato or invert. You don't have those whenever you're editing multiple clips. It doesn't give you those options, which is kind of seems odd. Not a big deal, but okay. And then groups within groups. So let's just see. I can go, here's a group 1, and it'll have like, say, some effects or something, and then I go, oh, actually I only want these two to have, a different effect, you know. I want these two to have this type of EQ. This group here, let's put this through a reverb. Boop. And then there's one that doesn't have a reverb, and then there's two that have a EQ, and then there's another one that just doesn't have any of that and goes through this. So that's really class. I really like this zooming thing. This is a great wee thing here. Just holding down command and zooming into audio files. Whoa, that's very, very cool. All arrangement clips within a time selection can be moved using the left and right arrow keys. Hold Alt PC or Command on Mac while scrolling to temporarily toggle the grid on and off. Click on a clip, and I'm using the right key on the keyboard, and I can move it over, or the left key on the keyboard, and I move it that way. If I hold down Command while I'm doing it, it moves it in smaller increments, so you can get fine-tune. You can fine-tune the movement of your clips. Using this to like make the tracks bigger or smaller, that's kind of fun. Nope, it's jumping out of it again. That's a wee bit fiddly. I'm not sure I'll use that too much, but okay. Dragging within an arrangement clip will slide the material within the clip without moving the clip itself. Because often what'll happen is, you know, if I'm using like some samples, like some like recorded samples of like people talking or something, and you want a wee bit of their conversation, you want just a phrase that somebody says in like an interview or something, and the actual interview recording is about 10 minutes long, and you know where you want it to be in the track. You know, here's the bit where I want to drop in that particular bit of dialogue, and instead of having to like listen to the whole thing and chop it up and then bring the chopped up bit over, now you can just scroll through the actual recording until you get the bit where you want it to be. So that's kind of, yeah, okay. Hold shift while dragging the edge of a warped dragging the edge. That's actually going to be really good for editing like when you're trying to edit takes. Like, you know, if you've got some guitar takes and some of your notes are a wee bit out of time, sometimes like I do that. I'll fix my guitar takes and I'll be like, oh, that wee note's a wee bit off, so I'll just like slide a note over just to be in time. But then you've left this gap, and then you try to fill it with the previous track, or you're trying to make these joins between tracks, and you end up getting these clicks, and you have to crossfade, and it's always a wee bit messy. But if you can actually just do like very short stretches between the two notes, I think it would be a lot better. I think that's how it works in like Pro Tools and Cubase and stuff. That's an interesting one. I just got a wee warning at the bottom of the screen saying you can't stretch it anymore. It's like, leave it alone. That's alright. Arrangement clips can be moved by dragging the upper half of the clip. Dragging in the lower half will select time. What? In the upper half. Like that? Is that what it means? That's always been the way, surely? I don't know. I'm not sure what's new about that. Okay, anyway. It's now possible to activate, deactivate, or reverse a selected range of time. Right. So that's new, because in the past you had to edit. You couldn't deactivate something unless it was its own individual. You had to edit it first, so you had to do like Command and E to make it, to slice it into something else, and then you could turn it off and on. And the same thing for reverse and stuff. So let's see if I just click a load of things. There's there. No faffing about. Class. Live now plays back MIDI notes in the arrangement, even if playback is oh yes. That is really cool. I remember about 20 years ago, like, using the internet forums, and people were asking about that. They were like, how do I, like, listen to this note halfway through? And people were just like, you can't do that. Like, MIDI notes can't be listened to halfway through. And now we've got a thing in Ableton that lets you do it. It's like they're breaking all the rules. It's like they're just, like, you know, all those rules that we have about the way these things work. They're just going, nah, we'll just do it this way. That's mad. I can still... That is bonkers. How the hell is it doing that? How? Wherever you play from, it just takes that as the start of the note and sends it to the plugin. That is absolutely awesome. Right, double clicking a MIDI track in the arrangement will create a new clip. The clip will be the length of the arrangement's grid resolution. So there's the new MIDI track, and there's the arrangement area. You double click, it opens a new... They've thought of everything. That is really tasty. Like you have to usually manually record. You just go like, here's some notes. Right, now that I've got the clip, I can go in, I can delete all those notes and just draw the ones in that I actually want. But now you don't even have to do that. You just like double click in the actual area, and that is so good. When editing in the arrangement or detail view, follow is now paused rather than disabled. Yeah, so if you scroll ahead, so over here it's gone red, but when I start playing again it goes back. Yeah, that's quite good. I like that. Okay. Oh, Command L will now toggle the arrangement loop on and off. Because that was the thing. I was wondering about this. I don't know if they've solved this yet actually, but one thing I think is a bit annoying is if you're wanting to punch in to record something and you set an area that you want to record into, you have to loop it. You have to select it like this with the loop, and then you have to manually click these punch in, punch out buttons at the top. And I thought, would it not be better if like there was just one button that automatically turned the punch in and punch out buttons on? Do you know, rather than you having to manually do it? Like, it would just save a wee bit of time. Audio and MIDI files can be imported via an import command in the create menu. Okay, I suppose it's not that useful, but okay. The lock envelope button can be MIDI'd or keyboard shortcutted. This wee button here, that's good. Clip fades are now always available directly on the clip if the track is tall enough. It's great that you have this now. This is really handy. That is really nice and really simple and cool. But you can't do the fades while automation is highlighted. In the arrangement view, all automation lanes are shown or hidden via the automation mode button or the A key. Aha! That is great! So this is how you flip between fade and automation. When automation lanes are visible, the content lanes are minimized to the height of the clip headers. Cool. It's possible to split or consolidate clips in a time selection within an automation lane. So previously you couldn't do that. You'd have to go up to this top layer here and then do it. You'd have to do the editing from here. Doot, boop. But now you can actually do it from the automation bit, and it'll still... Is that what it means? I think so. I can go rank, consolidate from here. Yeah. Introduced fade edge handles in the arrangement view, which allow users to change the duration of a fade via the fade and start handle. It's over this specific part of the wave file. It won't move whenever you change the duration of the fade. Breakpoints now snap to the grid or to existing breakpoints when moved horizontally. They do indeed. They do indeed snap to the grid. That's really nice. Breakpoint values can now be adjusted vertically without moving the breakpoints in time. Yeah, you can change the value without losing the position. Automation segments can be moved horizontally. Whoa, what? It is now possible to create an automation breakpoint by double-clicking anywhere in an envelope editor automation lane. In the arrangement, this means that MIDI clips can only be created by double-clicking in the content lane. Oh, it'll jump up. It'll jump up to where you click. Automation values are displayed when hovering over or dragging breakpoints. Yeah, that's right, nice. It's wherever you hover over the line, it'll tell you what that value is. The shift modifier is no longer required for moving automation segments past existing breakpoints. So in the past, did you have to use shift to do this? Is that the idea? I don't know. Okay, navigation improvements. In arrangement view, detail view, simpler and sampler. Holding command while scrolling will zoom to the mouse pointer's position. Ah, that's so much handier. Yes, so I can do that in here as well. Brilliant. Okay, the detail view now zooms to show the selected time within an arrangement clip. The detail view? What do you mean? Is that... Let me just go back here. Hold on. This here, detail view. Is that when you're in here? Is this the detail view? I think it is. Does it mean down here it shows you the time selection? Pressing Z will zoom to the time selection in the arrangement and detail views. Press shift in to zoom back out. Any bit of your song. Oh, here, let me see that wee bit there. Boom. Zoom right in straight away. That's really, really good. That's really good. I'm going to have to print out this list and remind myself to use it every day so it starts to become second nature, because these are all brilliant navigation tools. Okay, on US keyboards, it is now possible to zoom by pressing plus without holding shift. There we go. Plus without holding shift, it zooms in as well. Audio effects can now be dragged to the master track scene launch area. Scene launch? Audio effects? What does that matter? Why is that a thing? Does that matter? I don't know. Dragging clips from an existing track to the clip device drop area creates a new track with these clips. So if I drag clips, so if I grab those clips and then put it to a new track, it makes a copy of the track. It's another way to duplicate tracks in a quick way. Dragging frozen clips and tails to the clip device drop area in the arrangement view creates a new frozen track which also contains the devices from the original track. I don't know, actually, why don't you just, what's the problem with just duplicating tracks? It's easy enough, it's just Command and D. So why would you need this? I'm not sure what that is about. Let's move on. Hold shift while scrolling, scroll horizontally, both Mac and Windows. So it'll only let you go left and right with when you have shift pressed. The show all tracks command in the view and context menus in the arrangement view minimizes all tracks, allowing you to see as many as possible on your screen. Show all tracks. Boop. Cool. A number of small improvements make mixing easier. A right click or control click command can switch each track's pan control to a split stereo pan control. It's really interesting. So you don't need to like use the utility thing anymore to change the width. You can have it like two independent levels. Right. Double clicking on a knob or a slider will reset to its default value. So like double clicking the send level of effects will reset them. That's pretty cool. Individual drum rack pads can now be routed to one of the drum rack's internal return chains. Within a drum rack you can create, I can have reverb and overdrive on the same channel and have a big effects chain. It's basically like you've got inserts now basically rather than just sends. So it's just a different way of routing things. A new collection section of the browser allows you to tag browser items. I can now tag browser items. So like if I've got a favorite kit, so let's go with the 808, I can say favorite it and I can give it a color. So let's make it purple. Boop. It adds it up here. Because I do have a set of drum kits that I kind of always go to. So it'd be nice just to have quick access to them. Does it work with folders outside of Ableton? So like Jungle Breaks, can I favorite my Jungle Breaks folder? Yeah. So that's cool. You can give them custom names as well. You can give the colors custom names, so you can call it like bass or drums and so on. So that's pretty cool. Farts. Okay, Group tracks, including this group tracks, now appear when unfolding sets in the browser. That's really useful, actually. Yeah, that's great. There's the drum bus group. If I just click and drag that into the project from the browser, and there we go. There it is in this project now. The tracks that are inside that group are also with it. That's really cool. You can click and drag from the browser, and it'll maintain the groups that those tracks were part of. So brilliant. Setup improvements. Now possible to provide custom names for your input and output channels via the input and output config buttons and the other preferences. These names appear then appear on all input output channels. So basically it's this. You go into preferences and you go audio, then your input and output list here. You can name things and it'll keep those names. So like, you know, if you had set up certain outputs to go to certain external equipment, you could say, you know, output 17 and 18 goes to the reverb, you know, hardware that I have. So you can label them there, and then that means it's easier later on if you want to say, right, I'm going to send this vocal channel to the external out, to the reverb out. It'll be easier to find it in your list of channels because it's labeled, you know. So that's a useful feature. Yeah, okay. It's now possible to choose between different metronome sounds. What? Haha. Let's turn it down a wee bit. Let's hear these wonderful new metronome sounds. Huh. Well, that'll be good for when I'm recording guitar and I don't want there to be a big bleepy bleed from my headphones on the guitar track. So nice. So the click one might be nice. The metronome can be set to click at various note divisions via its pull down and context menus. The default auto setting follows the time signature's denominator. Note divisions that don't fit into one bar of the current time signature will be disabled. So I can have this click at a different... and it disables the ones that aren't relevant. Have they set up a way to record the click? I bet you they haven't. I wonder if you can do that, because that would be really, really class. A weird one, they won't let you like automate the level of the click, and they won't let you record the click into its own channel. I mean, yeah, you just say you want to like export a backing track, but you want the click to be in the backing track. You can't do that, and you can just drop in a drum machine and draw in your own wee click. But it just feels like they're missing a trick. Like, why don't they just let me route this into a channel, and then I can just automate, and then I can just record that channel? It just feels a bit strange. Like, or give you the option whenever you're bouncing audio out to include metronome or something, you know, like tick a box and it includes the audio of the metronome into your backing track. I just think that's funny that we still haven't allowed you to do that, but anyway. Okay, the enable only while recording setting. Yeah, it's not... yeah, okay, that could be useful sometimes. The computer MIDI keyboard is off by default, but it can be turned off and on with the M key, so that's useful. Yeah, okay. Context menu items now react when the mouse is released instead of after the initial mouse click. This makes it possible to drag away from a selection to cancel triggering an item while keeping the context menu open. When hovering over disabled context menu items, they are no longer highlighted. So when you right click on a item and you get its context menu, you can hover over the items in that menu without the menu disappearing. So I think in the past, whenever you hovered over this and then you moved your mouse away, it would close the menu. Like if your mouse wasn't hovering over an item, if your mouse went off the menu left or right, it would close the menu. But now it doesn't disappear, it stays there until you've made your selection or you click somewhere else. So the clips look different. Yep, they've been updated, as you can see, very different to how they looked before. And sample dots, whenever you zoom into a waveform, you actually have sample dots now. MIDI notes are now drawn in their clips color in the note editor. That's kind of sweet. That's a nice wee touch. Haha, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Oh, yeah, that's really nice. I like that. Added an assign track color to clips menu item to the context menu of track headers. The command applies the track color only to clips in the currently active view, session, or arrangement. That's quite a mouthful, but basically what it means is when you right click on the actual label of the track, you get an option down here saying assign track color to clips. Incorporated a new font throughout the interface. Yep. So old font. There's the old font. New font. Live's dial and sliders now look sharper than the zoom level. Do they? Whoop. Yeah. Introduced a set of 5 new themes in place of the previously available live skins. The clip device drop area is now always displayed in session view to enable dragging. Right here, this bit here. Pen tablet mode to live's look feel preferences. Pen tablet mode allows graphic tablets and touchscreens to control live. This replaces the absolute mouse mode entry of the options.txt file. Live now supports high DPI monitors on Windows 10. File handling improvements. The undo history is no longer cleared when saving a live set. Oh, yes! So let's just delete these clips. And then save the project. Boop. And then let's undo. Yay! The export audio video dialog now shows toggles for encode PCM and encode MP3. Cool. When encode PCM is on, a lossless audio file is created. WAV, AF, and FLAC formats are available for PCM export. When encode MP3 is on, a CBR 320 kilobytes file is created. It is possible to export PCM and MP3 simultaneously. Oh, that's nice. Boop. I can go MP3 or WAV or both. And you can also upload to SoundCloud. That is really neat. Saving a set creates a backup folder within the project. This folder contains the 10 most recently saved versions of the set. Okay, recorded audio files now include a timestamp in the file name. Alright, and then I get that file, show in Finder. It has the timestamp in it. Oh my god. Oops. Live sets now load samples faster, which may reducing. It's the first typo I've found on the manual so far. Live sets now load samples faster, which may reducing the loading time of some sets. So I'm going to load up this thing called Packed Kit, which has loads of kicks and snares and hi-hats in it. There we see, and that's it loaded up. Large live sets can now be closed 5 to 10 times faster. Let's see. Still not closed. Oh, there we go. Okay, Windows 10 changes don't really apply for me. Max Live updates. Max for Live is now bundled with the live installation and is loaded whenever live is started. Ooh. Max for Live devices can now support multiple audio inputs and outputs, and routing is available via the Live API. So there's a website here on Cycling 74's website. They have documented this. It's very useful. They've basically set up a bunch of Max for Live devices and some example patches projects in Live, so you can see how that works basically. So now you can route audio in lots of complex ways through Max for Live. Bouncy ball of death. What the hell? Okay, so I'm trying to load a project here and it's taking a considerable amount of time. That was weird. Okay, so that's it. From Ableton 9 to Ableton 10, this is every single new feature I've just covered. In the last 24 hours, I've made this piece of music with Ableton 10. This is the first piece of music I've made with Ableton 10. So yeah, I made this track last night, and I'll give you a quick preview of the drum sound. So these are all the drums. There's a few different tracks. So it's been a real delight. I mean, I have to say, the great thing about it is that it's not so different from 9, and that transition between 9 and 10 for me has not been difficult at all. Actually, it's been painless. You can't grab clips from this portion of the clip, and I'm not exactly sure what that's about. I guess it's something to do with automation maybe, or I don't know. It's something that'll take me a wee while to get used to. I think it's just something that'll be a little bit different. The new automation features, the way automation clicks and snaps, the double clicking envelopes thing is really good. I haven't used that yet really, but I think that'll be very useful soon. But yeah, in terms of making this piece of music last night, I used the drum bus plugin and the echo plugin, and the wavetable plugin. So I used all the new instruments and new plugins, but I didn't use so much of the new navigation features. I think it'll take me a little bit longer to get used to all those things, but I like all these zoom options. I like this Z thing, the way you can zoom into an area very quickly. That's really class. And the zooming is much easier now. All that kind of stuff's great. It's funny that you can't have fades and see the automation lanes at the same time, so I can go to fades, but I mean the fact that you can just switch between the two with one key on the keyboard is just, it makes it such a non-issue anyway, so that's really handy. Yeah, overall really pleased.